What's up guys, RGT85 here, and today on the channel I want to talk about a few things that I have going on. I also want to show some recent pickups that I've gotten. I have a box of retro game treasure. I've picked up some retro games, some Switch games that I want to show you guys. So just sort of a pickups video, talk with you guys, let you guys know what's been going on. But you see the title of the video, you saw the thumbnail. Is RGT85 in an angry video game nerd episode? And yes, I am. The Aladdin Deck Enhancer video just went up about 20-30 minutes ago, and I watched it, and yes, I do make a cameo towards the end of that video. And I just wanted to sort of talk about, my history with AVGN as far as the channel is concerned, because I've been watching this channel since like 2006. The Castlevania 2 episode, I actually watched that like the day it went live on YouTube, and I was like, this dude is nuts. Like, that episode was just so funny to me, and it sort of transitioned to what YouTube could potentially become, doing things like theatrics and having high quality editing instead of people, sitting in front of a webcam and just giving some sort of thoughts. It really created a new subgenre of YouTube, and honestly, I've been a fan of AVGN pretty much since that Castlevania 2 episode. It got to the point of where I was consistently looking for new episodes that he was coming out with, and it was the first channel that I really enjoyed watching on the YouTube platform. So to be in an Angry Video Game Nerd episode, even though it was for like 3 seconds, was just a huge honor for me, So make sure you guys go check that out. Tell them that RGT85 sent you so they don't think I'm just some random scrub who they just got as an extra in their video. And yeah, it was a really good video, but I want to show you guys some pickups I've gotten as well. I've been buying a lot of stuff recently, and I don't really know why, but it's kind of fun to buy stuff. Video games are cool. It's fun to buy games. All right, so first up, I got some games from LukeyGames.com, and I don't really know why I shop on there. Some of their stuff is very overpriced, especially the more, rare stuff, but their common stuff is actually pretty cheap, and they have $25 free shipping. If you spend $25 in their store, you get free shipping on their stuff. So occasionally when I'm looking just for some common random stuff that I've just been itching to play, I will go there. I picked up a copy of Virtua Racing on the Sega Genesis. I don't know what happened to my original copy of this game. Really cool game, and of course had the Sega SVP chip in there that was, very integral in making this game run on the Sega Genesis. A very cool game, and not a bad version of the game. I also got Super Street Fighter 2 on the Sega Genesis, another game that I thought I owned, but I don't know where it is. It was very cheap to get it loose, so I was just like, okay, whatever. I got Tetris Plus. I've never played Tetris Plus before on the PS1, so I don't really know what's different about this version of Tetris, but it looks pretty cool, and it was complete, and it was pretty cheap. And the final game is another game that I thought I owned, but I didn't, and that is Virtua Fighter 4 on the PS2. I remember playing this game back in the day, and I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to pick it up again, and once again, it was a pretty cheap game, so I just went ahead and picked it up. I also picked up some Nintendo Switch games, one of them being Darksiders War Master Edition, the physical copy. I did get a review copy of the game, but I enjoyed it so much that I decided to keep my pre-order and get the physical copy of the game as well. As you can see, this is one with a printing error where the spine of the game is black. It's actually not supposed to be black, so I don't know if it'll ever be worth more money because of that, but I really like this game. It's a really awesome game. Like I said, I did a video on it. I'll have a card on the screen somewhere talking about, this game, so make sure you guys go check that out. But a really well done game and a really good looking game. Of course, I also got Yoshi's Crafted World. I was going to get it digitally, but I prefer to get the physical version. We also did a video on this game. Really fun game. It's not super difficult or anything, but I think the game is pretty charming and a really fun game. Make sure you guys check out that video as well. And we also got Dragon Marked for Death, the physical version of this game that includes all of the DLC. Now, this was sent over to us by Inti Creates. I haven't had enough of a chance to check it out to do a video on it yet, but I will be doing a video on it at some point. From what I've played, it's a pretty solid game though. I definitely need to explore it more, but I am having fun with it, so definitely a game I'm going to keep my eye on and play some more and let you guys know what I think about it. Now we got some Sega stuff to go over. I've picked up quite a bit of Sega stuff recently, and one of the things that I've been picking up are Sega Visions magazines. Now, I remember very vaguely reading these as a kid, but I didn't really come across these quite as often as things like GamePro and EGM, which were pretty readily available at grocery stores, and I would sit there and read the magazines while my mom or my grandma went shopping because they weren't going to buy them for me more than likely. But I got a couple episodes or issues of Sega Visions magazine, and one that's kind of important to me is the sort of unveiling of the 32X, because I sort of wanted to immerse myself in the culture of the 32X, as obviously I am doing the 32X book. It's coming along very, very nicely. Pretty much all the reviews are done, so I'm super stoked on that. They just need to be proofread and all that. But as far as content is concerned, all the reviews are done. We're just working on a few other things, but it's really coming along nicely. But I just sort of wanted to, you know, immerse myself in how the 32X was perceived initially, especially in publications like this. So I picked up 4 different issues of Sega Visions magazine. It's very cheap. All the issues are in really good quality as well, you know, no like pages missing or anything. So it's a pretty good magazine, honestly. You know, it's a shame that as a kid, as being such a big Sega fan, that I was not a subscriber to this magazine, because I think I would have really enjoyed it. Of course, when you're talking about the Sega 32X, you have to talk about the brief run of Sega CD 32X games that use the advanced color palette of the 32X for the Sega CD, because the Sega CD was only capable of 64 colors simultaneously on screen, and the 32X was much, much better than that, with over 36,000 colors available at once. So one of the games I picked up is Corpse Killer. I really, just for the reviews, I played these games via emulation, just because they're kind of hard to come across. It's a big pain in the ass to set up the Sega CD and the Sega 32X, but I did want to own some of these games as well. I will eventually get all of the games for this, but Corpse Killer actually isn't a terrible game. Like, it's not good, but it has that B-movie, sci-fi movie sort of feel to it, so I do enjoy that aspect of it. You know, it's a pretty fun game, and this copy was like 25 bucks sealed. Like, obviously nobody gave a shit about the Sega CD 32X games, but I did want to add this to the collection. And the next game comes to us from my buddy Ryan at CastlemaniaGames.com, a great website. If you want to save some money on your order over there, you can put in the coupon code RGT Cares. I don't get any sort of kickback from it. It's just we're literally friends and we like to help each other out whenever possible. So he's got a great variety of both retro stuff, modern stuff. He does a lot of work with Retrobit, a lot of these bigger companies, HD Retrovision cables as well. But Ryan hit me up and was like, yo, I've got this Sega CD 32X Repro that seems to be like a thing, and I don't know if you want it or not. I literally have it sitting in a box. If you want it, you can have it. And I was like, okay. And it's Surgical Strike. Now, this was a Brazil only release for the Sega CD 32X, and a company actually did an official reproduction run, very limited quantity of this game. And once again, this is kind of a fun game in the library, but it's obviously something I'd probably never come across as far as the real version of the game, so I was more than happy to take this off of Ryan's hands. Ryan, thank you so much for sending this into the channel. I sincerely appreciate it, because this is something that you just don't come across very often, but a super cool item. And my final pickup is something that I have been hunting for a very, very long time. It is a 32X item. Obviously, it's not a game, but it's something that's very cool. So when the 32X was first announced, of course, a lot of people were anticipating Virtua Fighter on the system, because that was obviously something that 16-bit systems that were out on the market could not do. You couldn't have a 3D polygonal fighter on something like the Sega Genesis or the Super Nintendo. Well, the Virtua Fighter ended up getting delayed a bit for the Sega 32X. So to sort of hold people over, they came out with the Virtua Fighter Training Pack, which did not include a game. It had a coupon for the game itself that you would save like 20 bucks, I believe. It came with a t-shirt, and it came with a VHS tape. Now, long ago, I bought the t-shirt for very cheap, because this collection sells for like ridiculous prices, and I refuse to pay ridiculous prices essentially for a VHS tape. Well, I've had the t-shirt forever, and I found someone on eBay that was selling the box in obviously kind of scuffed condition with the VHS tape for a reasonable price. I actually shot them an offer, and they accepted, so I am super, super happy to have this in my collection. It's just so cool to have it. Like, it's something that I've always wanted. I remember seeing it as a kid, and it was like, oh my god, Virtua Fighter is going to be on the 32X. This is so crazy. So to finally have this in my collection is just super awesome. I'm so happy to have it. You know, just a really cool little thing. Obviously a product of the times. Like, nobody would buy something with a t-shirt and a VHS tape or a Blu-ray in it, you know, for modern aspect when they're waiting for a game. But I'm super stoked to have this in my collection, and a really cool item. And finally, we have a box of Retro Game Treasure. If you're not familiar with what Retro Game Treasure is, basically it is a monthly subscription service where they send you retro games to your house. You sign up for the service via their website, you put in what systems you want to collect for, what games you want to have, what games you already own, so that way they don't send you duplicates. When they send you games, they also update your personal checklist so that you don't get sent duplicates from them as well. It's a cool service, definitely not for everyone. If you're someone who's, you know, in an area where there's a lot of thrift shops or a lot of flea markets, markets, you might be able to pick up better deals on here. But if you're in a more rural area where there's not a lot of places around, or you're just lazy like me and you want games delivered to your house and kind of a surprise thing, a grab bag aspect, it's a cool service. I'll have a coupon code in the description box if you're interested in signing up. Once again, I don't get any kickback. They just send me a box every month to check out so you can see what sort of games you will get. And you know that I like to stare very creepily into the camera while I open it. And our first game feels like a GameCube game. Ooh, Resident Evil 4. Now, of course, Resident Evil 4 is an iconic game. It is coming out on the Nintendo Switch very, very soon. I believe next month. It's been released on pretty much everything. And honestly, I never liked the GameCube version of this game. I bought this game on the GameCube. I was super stoked for it. And when it was more of an action game than a survival horror game, I actually didn't finish it. I did not finish this game until the Wii version came out because I like the motion controls in it. But yeah, it's kind of funny to see this come full circle. I actually do not own this game. It does not have the manual, but it is both of the discs. So off to a pretty good start. Next up. Ooh, another game I don't own, Fighting Force 2. So Fighting Force was sort of a beat 'em up series that came out. There was the original Fighting Force and Fighting Force 2. I remember playing the original Fighting Force on the PlayStation 1, but I never played Fighting Force 2. This was done by Core and Eidos, who of course were known for Tomb Raider at that time. So I don't know, this could be pretty fun. I love picking up Dreamcast games. Case is a bit scuffed, but it is complete, so I'm not gonna complain. Next up feels like a Genesis / Master System game. You get 3 to 5 games in this box. It feels like we got 3 games in this box. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe I just got this game. Sonic the Hedgehog! Not for resale edition, dude. Not for resale edition. Do you know how much this is worth? Like, look at the Donkey Kong, not for resale editions. Look at the Majora's Mask, not for resale editions. We got Sonic the freaking Hedgehog, and it doesn't have the manual, but it's not for resale. I think everyone owns this. So, yeah, you know, kind of, you know, I'll be honest, a bit of a disappointing box. I've usually had pretty good luck with them, but that's just sort of how these boxes work. Sometimes you're going to get great stuff, sometimes maybe not so much, but, you know, decent. Fighting Force 2 is definitely a game I'm looking forward to checking out. I'm not sure the value of that game either, so maybe it's worth a decent penny. But yeah, so those are my pickups. That's what's going on. The book is coming along nicely. I'm feeling much better, and I was in an AVGN episode, and then I bought some stuff. So, yeah, cool. Let me know what you think of everything in the comments section down below. Is Fighting Force 2 a good game? What do you think of my stupid pickups? Is Sega Visions magazine worth buying in 2019? I mean, obviously, I bought 4 issues of it. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Check out other videos on the channel. Go show the AVGN video some love as well, saying that I sent you. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.